welcome to IGPP Expert Talks. I'm Heena Gosawmi, Editorial Consultant with IGPP, Institute for Governance, Policies and Politics, New Delhi. India's eastern neighbor Bangladesh goes to polling on January 7th amidst allegations of corrupt electoral practices and opposition parties boycotting elections. To discuss the controversy around Bangladesh elections, we have with us Professor Sanjay Kumar Bhardwaj. Professor Bhardwaj teaches foreign policy at Center for South Asian Studies, Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi, and is a regular contributor to India's leading newspapers and journals. Welcome to IGPP Expert Talk, sir. So, as Bangladesh goes to elections this Sunday, who are the main contenders to power and how are they different from each other?
If we are discussing about Bangladesh, you understand Bangladesh is India's eastern neighbor, and Bangladesh is also part of common ecological organic system of South Asia, and its complex geography as well as complex socio-political construct influence the foreign policy as well as domestic politics in the region. While we are focusing about Bangladesh democracy, you understand that it is the only country which has come into existence on the name of linguistic nationalism. But with this linguistic nationalism, the other pillars of the freedom struggle of Bangladesh was democracy, secularism, as well as socialism. While you are talking and you are looking about the democratic credentials of Bangladesh, of course, the people of Bangladesh, they have sacrificed their lives. There is estimates that 3 million people they have sacrificed for the democracy, because the controversy started in Bangladesh with the 1970s elections, where Awami League, the leading political party of East Pakistan, who won the majority of seats, and they were supposed to transfer power. The West Pakistani military regime, Yahya Khan, was supposed to transfer power to an elected leader of East Pakistan, which was led by Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, but they did not transfer power to a Bengali leader because Punjabi Muhajir Kotri was dominating discourse in Pakistan politics. And instead of transferring power, they have used a coercive means or military means to suppress the voices of East Pakistan. And people of Bangladesh who had been mobilized for 25 years of struggle against the military or Punjabi Muhajir Kotri of Pakistan, they were ready to sacrifice for this democracy as well as for their secular socialist nationalistic constructs that they were. In 1971, by the Indian intervention, Bangladesh came into existence. Indian forces had defeated Pakistan on 16th December, and after that they have adopted a constitution in 1972, and democracy has become one of the founding principles pillar of Bangladesh. But the fate goes wrong. In 1975, Bangabandhu Mujibur Rahman was assassinated again. The forces who were basically collaborators who opposed the liberation of Bangladesh, and they were believing more on, because the military and bureaucracy was more over trend in Pakistan days, and they have coup against Bangabandhu Mujibur Rahman, assassinated him, and the Bangladesh had gone under the military dictatorship led by Ziaur Rahman. Ziaur Rahman and other military regime, H.M. Irshad, ruled Bangladesh for 15 years. Ziaur Rahman founded a political party that was known as Bangladesh Nationalist Party. So you understand here that in Bangladesh there are two forces. One represents the spirit of 1971, who believes in secularism, democracy, Bengali nationalism, and socialism. Or they are very inclusive in a way, led by Awami League, who led the liberation war of Bangladesh. The another political party founded by a military regime, as I said, Ziaur Rahman, represents the old Muslim leaguers, or you can say the core of the BNP is Islam, and support to the or social constituency of BNP is the military. So these represents the forces of 1947 who believed in the two nation theory. My point is simple, that the society and polity in Bangladesh in the post 1970 country was vertically divided into two forces. One is led by the Awami League, another is led by the Bangladesh Nationalist Party. One is believing in the spirit of 1971, another believing in the forces of 1947. And so these are the two legacies that had dominated the discourse of Bangladesh politics in post-independent period. 1990, when Irshad was removed and democracy was reinstated, the BNP under the veto of Ziaur Rahman, BNP leader Begum Khaleda Zia came into power. Since her constituency was, as I said, up to military, as well as she has been inclined towards the Islamic religious forces, believing in Bangladeshi nationalism, they ruled the country from 1991 to 1996. 1994, there was one election, by-election in Bangladesh, the Magura by-election, and in that by-elections, the BNP rigged the entire poll, in fact, and that result had gone in the favor of BNP candidate. Awami League demanded that this is unfair, and they are doing corrupt practices in the electoral politics, and the next general election should be held under the neutral caretaker government. In 1996, sixth parliamentary elections were held, but in the sixth parliamentary elections, Awami League boycotted the election and demanded for a constitutional provision of the neutral caretaker government. Elections were held, but it was not accepted by the Bangladeshi people as well as the international community, and BNP, they made the amendment in the constitution. Article 58B was included in the constitution, making the provision of the caretaker government. The seventh parliamentary elections again held in 1996, and Awami League won the election. Awami League ruled the country from 1996 to 2001. In 2001, there were 8 parliamentary elections, and again BNP came into power because the elections were free and fair. BNP came into power with the support of the Islamic forces. There were political parties, Islamic Okhyojo, Jamaat Islam, and there are other political forces they came. The point is, again, from 2001 to 2006, the BNP and the Islamic parties, they had again radicalized the society, and the military and other undemocratic forces were prevalent. They have promoted drug trafficking, human trafficking, arms trafficking, attacks on the opposition political forces, intolerance towards the political forces, and all that. And what they did in 2006, again they wanted to manipulate the institutions of the caretaker government. What they did, that BNP, since the last retired judge who was supposed to be retired immediately, and he was inclined to the BNP because they have appointed him Chief Justice of Bangladesh, so he should retire before the election. So what the BNP did, they have increased the retirement age of the judges from 65 to 67 years, so that he will retire before the election. He will become the chief advisor of the caretaker government. Number one, they have also appointed a BNP person as Chief Election Commissioner, and the third, the Chief Election Commission has included 1.5 crore fraud voter list in that. Again, Awami League said that this is a manipulations to the institutions of the caretaker government. They are tampering the provisions of the constitution, and we will not participate in the elections. Let them have. A huge controversy was created in Bangladesh regarding these issues, and there were confrontations, and Awami League said we will not participate in the elections, and there were no consensus between the two political parties, and the retired judge, that the provision 1, 2, 3, all these judges declined to take over as the chief advisor of the caretaker government. My point is there that there were there were political chaos and confrontations, and there were no consensus on even appointing a neutral person as the chief advisor of the caretaker government. There were issues like let the Mohammad Yunus come and take over, but both the political parties were not agreed, and finally the army-backed caretaker government took over the power. Fakhruddin Ahmed became the chief advisor of the caretaker government. My point is there, the army-backed caretaker government was supposed to conduct elections within 3 months of taking the charge. And what the army-backed caretaker government did, they have done all the good practices, I would say, to make the environment conducive, free and fair. They have removed the fake voter list. They have also tried to de-radicalize the society of what the BNP was doing. But army-backed caretaker government continued for 2 years. So under which constitutional provisions they continued 2 years? That was again, there were question mark on the army-backed caretaker government. My point is there, and there were strong voices against the caretaker government that they should conduct free and fair elections. Finally, in 2008, the caretaker government conducted election and Awami League came into power with landslide victory. The point again here that this caretaker government, because the army and the caretaker government was also doing one more, they created one more discourse. And what was the discourse? -2 diplomacy. What do you mean -2 diplomacy? That all the confrontations and problems or political chaos, these two ladies, one is Sheikh Hasina, the daughter of Bangabandhu, and another is the widow of Ziaur Rahman, Khalida Zia, is responsible for this. So keep these two ladies out of the politics and the things would be. But since the society of Bangladesh is very politically very active, they did not accept it. And they said that no, it would not be possible. So army managed one. And that Sheikh Hasina came and she participated in the election and she had got a landslide victory by the support of young generations. From 2008 to 2024 now it has come. Awami League is ruling the country under the able or you can say under the leadership of Sheikh Hasina. In between, there are 2-3 important steps have been taken. Court has questioned the institutions of the caretaker government. In 2011, Supreme Court gave one verdict. That in that verdict, they said that institution of caretaker government can also be manipulated. So it should not be the provision. Let the elections should held under the ruling party. So Awami League amended the constitution. The 13th constitutional amendment was incorporated, and in the 15th constitutional amendment this was removed as the constitutional provision. And now after that 2014 elections were held, 2018 elections were held, and now is 2024 elections under the ruling party. In 2014 elections, BNP did not participate in election, they boycotted. And they realized that it was a big mistake, that they would have participated, the main political forces, they would have participated, but they did not participate. And then later on they have realized, because Awami League came into power with landslide victory and continued it. In 2018, they participated in the elections, BNP participated in the elections, but they lost the election, and the election had gone totally in favor of Awami League. They won around 280 seats out of 290 seats, 288 seats in fact out of 300. My point is there that two very important aspects is there. One is that Awami League had been doing wonderful for the country's economic development. They had adopted a very balanced foreign policy. They have cultivated very good, excellent relations or developmental partnership with the neighbor in India. India had become the largest, who had extended largest line of credit to any country, that is Bangladesh. And the two countries, we are also, Bangladesh is also the largest trade partner of India, and Bangladesh, because of its developmental approach, they have also cultivated good relations with China, with Japan, and for politico-economic regions. And Bangladesh had become one of the fastest growing economy in South Asia. Number one, its socio-political indicators had become better than many other South Asian countries, including India. And now Bangladesh is graduating from developing LDC to the developing countries in 2026. In 2014, it will become higher middle income country. So the economic performance had been appreciated not only domestically but internationally. That was one of the points. But on the democratic credentials, it has been questioned that there is huge gross manipulations and corrupt electoral practices in Bangladesh, number one. Number two, there is huge human rights violations against the opposition political parties. These are the two issues that has been criticized, but people were happy because this political system for last more than 15 years had provided a comparative political stability in the country, and because of this political stability, the country had time, people had time to do business. Okay, and because of this business, that Bangladesh had performed very well. So now this is the election, and in this election, what the BNP, because I'll come on the BNP if you'll ask about the opposition political forces, what is their condition, and because of the economic performance and the ruling systems of the Awami League is contesting elections, but the opposition political party is boycotting the election.
So, it seems that Bangladesh has had a chaotic history of elections. Then why is it that political commentators are saying that this is the most consequential elections that Bangladesh is going to have? Is that something that you would agree with? And why are Western nations such as USA have gone as far as to introduce visa curbs to ensure that Bangladesh has a fair elections?
Let me come with that. You know, Bangladesh, as I said, that the tolerance, intolerance towards the opposition is very prevalent, and this intolerance had led to the confrontational politics in Bangladesh. But there is one more point, that both the political parties, they do not have intra-party democracy. That it is only led by one family or one ladies, you can say, and intra-party there is lack of intra-party democracy. But comparatively, you will see that Awami League has a wider access to the country because they led the liberation war of Bangladesh, and they had, it's a cadre-based party that has been supported by the liberal democratic forces throughout. So it is still they are maintaining that gesture in the Bangladesh politics. They're supported by the secular, progressive, and particularly minority communities also supports the Awami League. The BNP, since it was founded by the military regimes and they have in their nationalistic concepts, the Islam and religion is the core of them. They had been inclined towards the center to rightist forces, you can say, and this was also led by Khaleda Zia, the widow of Ziaur Rahman. Now BNP, they have made a mistake time and again. First, they have done mistakes from 2001 to 2006, while they have done lot of activities that was not in the good taste of the Bengali cultural society. That has been promoting and collaborating with the radical forces, with the undemocratic forces and all that. But now the situation is that with the BNP, the opposition has become very weak. There is leadership crisis. First thing, Khaleda Zia is 90 years plus, very old, and she doesn't have that sense to run the party. She has always been in the hospitals, or sometimes she was in the prison, and so she doesn't have any kind. Her son is he's in self-exile in London, Tariq Rahman. Tariq Rahman is running the party from London. And he is not giving much space to the local leaders. He's taking all the meetings through Zoom or Google Meet and whatever, and controlling the parties, but he's not giving any space to create a leadership at the local level, and that has become that this is the fundamental reasons that the BNP could not become very strong organizationally at domestic level. Though there is a support from the people to the BNP, but that this kinetic energy they do not have kinetic energy to convert this potential energy into the electoral mode. The third very important point is that the BNP basically, since they are out of power, they do not have money. There is financial crisis also. So what happened that opposition political parties is becoming weak and weak every day. Number one. Number two, that they have taken the wrong decisions in 2014, not participating in the elections, and again they are not participating in 2014 elections. Day after tomorrow, the election is there. They are not participating in the election. They are boycotting, and that the liberal or civil societal actors like academicians, the lawyers, professors, or they are journalists. They are criticizing that they should not boycott. They should participate actively. Let the people. But since Tariq Rahman is apprehensive that if BNP will win will get the support, he cannot come and he cannot become the prime minister. So he has to transfer the leader to other leaders. So party will the power of the party will transfer to others, and that Tariq Rahman is not accepting. And because of these factors, the BNP is becoming, and this vacuum, the created vacuum, is now filled by some of the Islamic political forces. They are contesting elections. Nine Islamic parties. They have met the Sheikh Hasina, and they are contesting elections. Jamaat Islam's space has been filled by the Islam that was originated in 2012 after Sabah movement. So now this vacuum, if the other democratic political party will not come, that Islamic political party will fill this vacuum, and that I think that would not be a good taste in Bangladesh society. So this is one thing. The second thing, that what you have raised about the United States, Tariq Rahman and BNP, they are more hopeful and inclined towards hoping from the US, that US will give us support, and because of that the ruling party or Sheikh Hasina will resign, and then there will be elections. US, that is again I will say, from the distance, the outsider powers, they are inclined band on the outsider power. That's not possible because Bangladesh has been very democratic, very active political society. United States has its own interest. Basically, United States has linked the ethos of democracy and terrorism with its strategic interest. And while they had a virtual democracy summit in 2021, in this virtual democracy summit, they did not invite Bangladesh in that summit, and they invited Pakistan. For the Americans, Pakistan is more democratic rather than in comparison to Bangladesh. So they have linked with the strategic interest. Because Americans, they always keep this political security considerations in South Asia, including Bangladesh, and they are looking that since Bangladesh is open to Bay of Bengal and then Indian Ocean, so they are also looking forward to include Bangladesh into the Indo-Pacific strategy, and they are also looking that the Chinese should not have much influence in Bangladesh. So they are having that kind of consideration. So I think this is a pressure tactic of the Americans, that and raising the issue of elections, free and fair elections, and of course they are also talking about human rights. So what they did, they had imposed sanctions on their Rapid Action Battalion, that is the elite force of Bangladesh, that visa and all that will not give. And they also said that whosoever will not support the free and fair elections will not be given a visa to Americans. That kind of indications Americans are giving to Bangladesh. But I think now they're trying to invite all the political forces in Bangladesh. One institution, global institutions, they have also convened a meeting, but BNP did not participate in that. So now they are I think looking forward to have this election, free and fair election, because in this election we'll say there are around 42 political parties. They are in Bangladesh. Out of them, 27 political parties are participating in this election. 17 parties are boycotting. So 44 political parties. But that 27 political parties who are participating in 24 elections, you can say these are not very, except Awami League and Jatiya Party. Jatiya Party has its presence because it was created by H.M. Irshad, a military regime. So Jatiya Party, you can say fourth largest party after Jamaat Islam also. But other political parties they were in the past elections they shared less than 1% of the vote. So my point is there that all 27 political parties, Awami League and Jatiya Party can be considered the national party, but others are very weak. And most of the parties, like there is Trinamool, BNP, there are Supreme Party, there are other political parties. They are basically, there is a saying that it's a king's party. The king, ruling party are supporting them to contest the elections, to make this election free and fair. And what is more happening in this election, that Awami League's rebellion, like Awami League has promoted its candidate and they have asked the other Awami League, suppose in one constituency there are two candidates from one party. So they are asking, this is my candidate, if you want to contest, you contest independently. And if you are winning the election, you win the election, you can come back later on. So that is also happening, that good number of Awami Leaguers are contesting elections independently. So there are alliance with the Jatiya Party, 26 seats has been given Jatiya Party, but there are also independent candidates from the other political parties and from Awami Leagues. So they are trying to make it more free and fair elections, the Awami League, number one. Number two, the election commission, before the election, after the Achar Sanhita, you can say, they have also code of conduct. They have also transferred number of good administrators, district administrators and police officers from one place to other place to ensure free and fair elections. Third, that Sena Bahini of Bangladesh was also deployed to ensure law and order and peace. Because BNP, now I was reading, had given a call that from tomorrow, I mean from 6th morning to 8th morning, they are going for the boycott, and they call for hartal, band. So they are basically demoralizing the people who really wants to participate in the electoral process and go and cast their vote. They are trying to demoralize them. So that is again undemocratic practices, is not liked by the civil society people, because then they said that is they are most disappointed by the BNP's decisions, all that. So this is all happening in Bangladesh. The Commonwealth Observers, they are also attending the meetings by the ruling party. They have called for, and the others also observing. India is also observing elections closely. China doesn't also observing and doesn't comment and doesn't involve. So these are the major trends that has. Let's see how the elections votings take place on 7th and who will win, that will reveal. But I think the election is foregone conclusive.
This week, Nobel Prize winner and a pioneer of microfinance in Bangladesh, Muhammad Yunus, was sentenced to 6 months in prison, and that came as a surprise to many of us. So how is Muhammad Yunus implicated in this power game that is playing out in Bangladesh?
See, Muhammad Yunus, he himself is an institution in Bangladesh. He had been a pioneer of microcredit programs or women empowerment, poverty eradications, and because of that, his Grameen Bank and Muhammad Yunus, they got Nobel Prize for that. But in Bangladesh, there are two very important factors that should not forget. One is, of course, that it is an Islamic society, and the credit itself is a interest based, and credit is not much welcomed in any Islamic society. That if you are taking interest is not accepted in Islamic. So he is not that much popular within the society because he is taking number. So they are talking that he is extracting money from the people and doing business, in fact. So on the societal level also, he doesn't have much impact, and they are talking that he is just businessman, and because of the Western support, he managed to get Nobel Prize and all that. And he is have good connection with the Western world, so he is manipulating and influencing the Bangladesh politics as well. So because of these factors, he is not accepting one, and he did not have good relations with either the BNP or the Awami League in the past as well. When there were crisis in 2006, and there were some demands that let the neutral person and independent person become the chief advisor of the caretaker government, and Mohammad Yunus' name came. Both the political parties said, no, this man cannot become that. So he's not accepted, number one. Number two, that because of the Grameen banks and the big institutions, there were charges of corruption and manipulations of funds and all that. And under that, I think there are many attempts to convict him in that. And recently, he has been convicted on one of the case. And so you can see that they are the ruling party. They are, or the judiciary. They are doing, but they are doing under the rules. Whatever rules is there, they are not going with the personality cults or the charismatic of any person in Bangladesh politics. I am looking Mohammad Yunus in that perspective, and the internal dynamics are leading and influencing this kind of decisions.
India has historically enjoyed good relations with the incumbent Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and the party Awami League. So whatever the result be, and if Awami League does return to power, do you think the bonhomie is going to continue?
See, the very good thing is that while I'll keep it from 2006, while the army-backed caretaker government was there, they started good relations with India, had red carpet welcome in while the army chief came to India as well. From 2006 or 2008, while Awami League came into power, the Awami League or Sheikh Hasina, she had maintained very good personal and political relations with all the political stakeholders in India. Either it is Congress party, Pranab Mukherjee, Manmohan Singh, or Sonia Gandhi, or after Modi coming into power, he is having very good relations, excellent relations with this government. Pradhan Mantri Narendra Modi, he is having very good rapport. It is well visible while she was invited in G20 summit, and he was introducing her to all the leaders of the world. So you can see, and at the same time, she has also maintained good relations with Mamata Banerjee, the Chief Minister of Bengal. So she is good in political relations and all that, number one. Number two, that both the countries, while they have also understood the necessity of development for each other, because the young generations, they have wanted them to come in power. In Bangladesh, the Awami League, and in India, BJP and Modi, they have been wanted to BJP on the name of development, and that is inclusive development. So both since they have promised the people and they want to bring the development, they have understood that Bangladesh and India's development is not possible if they are not joining, becoming part of a developmental board. Because if Bangladesh is India locked, India's northeast is Bangladesh locked. India is looking forward to have Act East policy, and for this Act East policy, what is important, that Bangladesh is making bridges. Connecting with the Southeast Asian countries, or you can say it's a linchpin in between the two. And if you want to have access to Bay of Bengal from northeast, you need Bangladesh, Chittagong port, Mongla port, Paira port, and all that. And if you want to have electricity transmissions and other cooperations and connectivity projects and all that, Bangladesh is very important. So understanding that things that India, this government has really developed very strong developmental partnership. As I said, India has extended largest line of credit to Bangladesh. India is exporting around 2100 megawatts of electricity to Bangladesh. India has developed significant projects like Napal thermal power projects, Mongla, Khulna rail connectivity, Akhura, Agartala rail connectivity, Maitri pipeline projects from Numaligarh come to Bangla Banda and northern Bengal, and open infrastructures and all that sectors that supplying locomotives, buses, and efficiency of Bangladesh has improved. So the interesting thing is that anti-Indianism is not a factor in Bangladesh elections that is happening. So, and because this government has maintained very calm and very constructive engagement with India, but also maintained very constructive and calm engagement with China and the other Japan and other countries. So that balanced foreign policy approach are looking forward that if Awami League remains in power, their relations will not adversely impacted, even including with India. But since BNP had also always done anti-Indian constituency, cultivated anti-Indian constituency, so there is apprehension if the BNP will come, how much they will maintain this pace of development. This has been calculated. Even the Bangladeshi people are also thinking the same manner, that if there is a change of guard in Bangladesh, the developmental pace should not be adversely impact in that. And I'm sure if Awami League will come, that would more strengthen, and the two countries' economy and people will come closer.
So, lastly, Awami League enjoys popular support in Bangladesh because of the progress that Bangladesh has made on socio-economic fronts, and BNP is in a weak position because Khalida Zia is 90 plus, and her son is in London, and from where he is controlling the party. But the human right violations and that have occurred, and the clamping down on protests that have occurred in Bangladesh, does that mean that Bangladesh might shift towards an authoritarian state?
But if you know Bangladesh history, it has very bad track records about the intolerance towards the opposition, number one, intolerance towards the criminal forces, number two, and that has been that arrest of the opposition leaders, disappearing the opposition political parties. Basically, this has been cultivated, developed during the military regimes, while the military ruled Bangladesh from 1975 to 1990. And that thousands of the political activists had disappeared, where they suddenly appeared in that. So this culture of disappearance or atrocities towards the opposition political forces are very, very common in Bangladesh politics. So it's not surprising that what this present ruling party is doing, and what the Khalida Zia, they had that was the worst period in Bangladesh history from 2001 to 2006, that where a huge arms consignment was caught on Chittagong urea fertilizer company that was supplied to Bangladesh and other parts, that the radical forces like Bangla Bhai or Huzibi, they have made Bangladesh a safe haven for their fundamentalist radical activities. So you can see, because of this alliance, nexus between the criminals, or you can say the criminals with the radical forces, has ruined the basic fabrics of Bangladesh society. That is very syncretic, very progressive, very secular, very cultural. And people now under Sheikh Hasina are looking forward to have maintained this secular, progressive Bengali fabric in the society. But of course, if you are looking in the context of purely free, fair, meaningful, participatory elections, there are problems within the ruling party, as well as because Sheikh Hasina is well accepted to all, but her lieutenants, they are sometimes questioned, number one. But the opposition is more responsible, that they are not giving enough space to the local leaders, and they want to control party sitting in London. That is, and because of the opposition's activities, not participating in the elections, again ruining the democratic cultures of the society. So you can say, moreover, that law and order problems, she had been very successful to control the criminals, radical forces, and maintaining law and order. And the most important, the transportation system of Bangladesh has wonderfully transformed, like their Poda Bridge, Karnpuli tunnel projects, and there are a number of good projects. So that people are feeling good. In fact, in Bangladesh, they do not bother about that if 1,000 people are arrested, or and some of them they have been killed while they are in the custody and all that. But that has also been in the past. So people are not much into that. They are looking that there should be stable political system, and we should have good opportunity to do business and to get my children's good education, good health service, and let the more and more investors comes and invest in Bangladesh. So forever, if it is BNP is doing, Let the BNP come, but BNP doesn't want to participate. No problem. Let the Awami League continue and rule the country and provide a conducive environment for the business. I think the people are looking forward in that perspective.
Thank you so much for joining us today and making easy to understand the various complexities and nuances of the coming elections in Bangladesh. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Hina.